All right, so I want to talk with y'all today about a concept called overtrading. Okay, it's probably one of the most common things that gets in the way of traders, especially once you have a successful strategy. If you are, I'm just filling in a hole that the chickens dug in the garden. If you are somebody who is able to make money from the markets and somewhat consistently, but if for some reason you're giving those profits back, then what it boils down to is overtrading. Now, we can't externalize this and say, oh, well, I'm just going to blame overtrading for the thing. Instead, you have to take personal responsibility. One moment, I'm trying to position this camera thing. You got to take personal responsibility for the overtrading, okay? And what that boils down to is a need for rules, a trading plan, and then making your focus in trading from this point going forward just a matter of character building and self discipline and self-control, like that being the focus, and it not being so much about the strategy or the market or any other thing, right? Like you can identify that overtrading might be the issue, but needing to then take personal responsibility for that and say, okay, that's the issue. What does it boil down to? The real issue at the end of the day is wanting to keep trading, right? You may know that you should stop. Maybe it's greed causing it. Maybe it's thinking that, oh, well, if I did this on this trade, then surely, sorry, notifications are coming up, then surely I'm going to be able to repeat this on the next trade, the next trade, the next trade, and just keep printing money like that. I think we all start out thinking like that. When in reality with the markets, there are certain higher probability setups than others. And when we are able to execute on those higher probability setups, we need to be then willing to say, all right, let me take a step back. And if you can't take a step back, sometimes that can be hard, right? You get that dopamine rush, you get really excited when a good trade closes. Then the best thing honestly to do is just to have a rule where if you make X amount, then you're done for the day. Flatten all positions and immediately close the charts. Don't stick around lingering watching the charts. That's the number one tip. Once you've made a profit that you're excited about, or you close a trade and it's in a decent profit, be done for the day. Flatten all positions, close the charts. Don't linger, don't look, don't say what if, don't say, oh, that also looks good, or I wonder if the move is going to keep going. Don't do any of those things. I'll give you all a different change of scenery of the garden while I continue talking. So, overtrading at the end of the day is something that just boils down to self-control and discipline. And the easiest way to move forward in that regard is to have a trading plan, have rules, so that a lot of that in the moment decision making is done for you, right? Obviously, it's always easier said than done. Sometimes you have to get humbled for this to stick. God willing, you don't experience that. I will tell you that humbling thing is out of this world, and I would say you would greatly benefit, or at least it would be a lot less painful if you didn't have to go through that process and you disciplined yourself, right? What I will say, like hence the shirt and everything, one of the things that truly made the difference for me to become profitable with futures day trading and going from knowing nothing 7 months ago to now, I think I made a total of $5,000 on my top step accounts today, $1,000 each across 5 copy traded. And then for the funded futures family, one's funded, 3 of them still had, I think, 600 to go. I made over $1,000 on all those, right? So one was $1,000 of profit. The other ones are now, those other 3 challenges are passed. What I will say is that submitting to God was the difference maker for me, okay? I'll give you another little change of scenery of the garden. Submitting to God was the difference maker for me. It literally, for lack of a better word, ticks all the boxes necessary in trading to really make progress in so many areas, whether it is in regards to self-control, discipline, overtrading, if somebody's dealing with greed, or if they're dealing with fear or uncertainty, all these things can be addressed through focusing on your relationship with God and then submitting to God in the process, because everybody knows trading is not the easiest profession, especially to get started with, mainly not even necessarily from the technical analysis standpoint, which, yeah, it does take time to learn a strategy, but more so from the mental side. And what I would really like people to begin to switching how they verbalize the psychology of trading, I think it's really about the character of trading. And as your character develops, you're able to see a lot of those, or jump over a lot of those hurdles, especially once you're in a position with a strategy or with profitability, to be able to see things continue moving in the right direction and not doing things like giving back profits. Have a blessed day.